Hey everyone, it's Emily and welcome to my channel. Today I'm building a house that I am very excited about. I built this a long time ago and for some reason I felt like I already did the voiceover for this. I think because I've been thinking about it for a while and I've already played in this house, so I just kind of assumed that I had, but it's the day before this is supposed to go up and I realized that I haven't actually done it yet. So that's what I'm doing now. But this is a craftsman style house and I built it for my Upgrowth Challenge family because we are in the second generation now. They needed a new house and this generation kind of starts in the 1910s, and then as we move into the 1920s we'll probably update this house a little bit and make it more art deco style, but for now it's very craftsman-y. And I actually didn't even know or realize that craftsman style homes were, I guess, became popular in the 1910s, but to get inspiration, I can't speak. To get inspiration for, I'm also really sorry for that awful noise I just made. That probably hurt your ears, but it's fine. We're just gonna keep going. But yeah, I got inspiration for this house and just kind of like the decades in general from Irrelevant Sims. She did a whole decade build series, and I struggled with the roofing a lot right now, but I eventually get it figured out and we're fine. But yeah, she did a whole decade build series and did several different styles of home for each decade. Like, I think for this time period that I was looking at, she did 3 builds, I want to say, but I think for each decade in general, she did at least 2 of them, and that's been really helpful for this challenge. And then I also looked up, once I figured out that, okay, craftsman style was popular at this time, or that's kind of when it came around, I was able to look up more stuff about what craftsman style homes look like, but her videos are so informative. I really like them. Like, I just basically talk about nonsense the whole time, but she actually comes up with like fun historical little things to share with you. So if you like that type of thing and you haven't already seen her channel somehow, you should probably check it out because I like it a lot. It's like a little history lesson in the middle of a build, but a fun one because as she's decorating, she'll kind of show pictures of where she got inspiration for certain rooms, and you can totally see that come through in her builds. But yeah, I think that's fun. But I literally took notes. I'm looking at them right now as I was watching her video about craftsman style houses, and they have lots of warm colors in them, like beiges and browns and stuff, and they mostly have an open layout, and they usually just have half walls that separate the rooms, so you'll see that come into play once we get to the inside. I kept the kitchen and the what's called living room close together. I just had a nice Google Calendar alert pop up on my screen and obscure my build view, so that's great. But now I'm back. I can see what's going on. Not that I'm talking about what's going on, but I can see it. And yeah, I used lots of half walls to separate the kitchen from the living room, and lots of wood paneling in this house that was popular, and colored stained glass was popular. So I used one of the room divider things. I think it came with Get Together, I want to say, or maybe I think I used the cats and dogs one. So that was fun. She did that in her build as well. I got that idea from her. So that was nice. Glad I got to use that. I think it just adds a little bit more than a regular half wall, but you'll see that more in a minute. I think we're about to start getting to that. But now that the outside of the house is taking shape, we'll be moving to the inside shortly. This is a long build. This took me quite a while to do. And I think it's mostly because I was trying to get the time period right. And so I had to go through it and find a lot of items that I don't normally use and that type of thing. So that made the build take me, so the build took me a little bit longer because of that. I think that's a better way to say what I was trying to say. And oh, they also had bay windows a lot, so I made sure to put a bay window in the front. We don't end up using any of the seating things that came with cats and dogs because I use that as kind of my dining room area, and I put the dining table in there. And yeah, I think that, oh, I didn't even realize this because I've already recorded the first part of my second generation of the Upgrowth Challenge, but this build will be going up the day before that, so I'm kind of doing this a little bit backwards because I won't be here tomorrow or I won't be here later today to be playing my Upgrowth Challenge before usually I do it like the day before, so like I always upload them on Fridays, so usually I'll sit down on Thursday, play the game, and edit my video, and that's that. But instead I did this, or I played the first part on like Monday, I want to say, so that was a whole thing. And now I am obviously recording the voiceover for this build that I built probably 3 weeks ago now, I wanna say it's been. Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks since I built this, wow. Usually, I never wait that long, and if I do end up waiting that long, I will never upload the build. That's happened a few times, actually. Not so much recently, because usually I'll build something and then upload it a few days later once I have time to edit and whatnot, because I like to build a bunch of stuff for a few days and then do some editing for one day for all the stuff that I built for the last few days. That's usually how I do things, but yeah, in the past, I would sometimes build a whole house and then not feel like editing, and then it would just kind of sit around, and then I would decide that I built something more recently that I liked better, and I didn't want to bother editing that other thing that I built. So that was a thing that used to happen, not anymore. And also, I had to cut out the bathrooms in this build. Hope you're not too bothered by that, and some of the decorating, because this house is very Christmas ready, and I wanted it to be all festive for at least the first two parts of the Let's Play, or the new generation of the Let's Play, because, yeah, that was the one from Get Together that I ended up not using, but then we go with the one from Cats and Dogs, which is very cute. And anyway, I wanted the house to be all decorated, because especially with this generation, we can start having electricity in our homes, and I looked up Christmas decorations in the 1910s, and they all had lights on the house and that type of thing, so I went all out with the Christmas. And I think that probably I'm going to, whenever I delete the decorations after the first two parts, I will cheat the money away that we gain from them, because I don't think it's really fair to gain a bunch of money from decorations that were already placed in the house when I did cheat for money a little bit to get this house, because to me, the Upgrowth challenge is more about playing within the rules of the generation and what's applicable to that time period, than so much of like a struggling for money type of thing. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just kind of fun to experience these other generations, especially the first few in the challenge, since I usually play The Sims like it's in modern day. So it's been fun to play it completely differently than I usually do. And also, I'm looking forward to the last few generations of the challenge, because those are set in the future, and those have some really cool rules. If you haven't checked out the Upgrowth challenge rules, then I definitely recommend it. It's just kind of fun to read through them. Honestly, in my opinion, I had a lot of fun just going through and seeing what all the different things were that you had to do, and then I decided I liked it so much I wanted to play it on my channel. So that's my one Let's Play that I'm doing, and if you're just here for the build, but that sounds mildly interesting to you, then you should check it out, because I think it's a lot of fun, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And yeah, the kitchen, instead of doing tile, I don't think we're supposed to use tile yet in this generation. I feel like there's some, I don't know which generation it is, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading the rules and seeing that at some point in the challenge, we are allowed to use tile. So I didn't use any tile in this house. I used bricks in the kitchen, and then the bathrooms just have wood paneling / wallpaper, because we can have indoor plumbing now. That's exciting. And that's something I'm very much looking forward to. Our Sims won't be peeing on the ground anymore. If you've been watching that challenge, that's been quite an issue. Lots of bladder failures. I don't even know. There's probably so many more that aren't even in the Let's Play, because I basically play like 2 days of the challenge, or the family, and then I kind of edit that down to 30 minutes just so we actually make progress, because this is a 10 generation challenge. It would take forever if we just did like one day every part, or if I actually recorded for like 20 to 30 minutes and that's all that I did. We would never finish it. So that's my way of kind of making sure that things are moving along. And yeah, I think there have been so many more bladder failures than have actually made it into the final uploaded version of my gameplay. So yeah, that's just been great, but no more bladder failures, hopefully. Oh gosh, please no. And what else do I want to, I feel like, what else do I want to say about this? Oh, this is, I'm probably going to mention this in my next part, so in part 2 of Gen 2, I'll bring this up again just because it'll be more relevant for anyone who actually watches the Let's Play, but if you've been watching it, or if you just have any input in general, I am thinking right now the family is basically like the founder, who is the mom. The dad died. Sad. He had an early death, and so he's gone. So we just have the mom. She just had a baby, which is kind of weird, and I wasn't planning on it, but we have this other toddler now. And then we have her youngest son who just became a teenager, and then her twins that are about to become young adults soon. And I'm thinking about moving her youngest son and her new child out into their own house, and then having when the twins age up, one of them's a girl, so I'll probably move her out into her own house or have her get married or something, marry her off. I don't know what I'm going to do with her yet. But I think that she might actually just move into her own house and just do her own thing. And I'll let MC Command Center get her married if it wants to do that. And then we have Lawrence, who's my main sim that I'm going to be playing with. And I think that he's going to get married soon. So my plan is whenever he gets married, I might move the rest of the family out of the house so it's just him and his wife, and then they have room for their family. Because I feel like this house isn't big enough for his mom and his two siblings and his new family that he's about to start. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know, because I was planning on keeping the whole family in the same house, but now I'm not so sure about that. So even if you don't watch the Let's Play, if you think that sounds overwhelming, I think it sounds overwhelming. So I think that I feel like words. I feel like I'm just convincing myself to do this now and not so much asking for opinions, but I'm still asking for opinions. If you think that I should keep the whole family together, then I would like to know your reasoning. And if you think that it's worth it to be stressed and have a really crowded household, please give me a convincing argument and maybe I'll consider it. But something I wanted to do with this kitchen and dining table is do some little mismatched chairs. It's not super mismatched, but it is a little bit, and I think that it just adds something to the room, makes it feel more lived in, like they've accumulated furniture, even though we're just straight up moving them into a new house. But it's fine, it's the thought that counts. And I am obsessed with the scale down new thing that you can do with move objects and stuff. It's fantastic. I think everyone's obsessed, but it's really great for placing things on shelves like this. So nice. And I'm really liking doing clutter on shelves like this in the kitchen. I started doing it around the house just in general and making kind of like DIY bookshelf type of things, but it's really fun to do in the kitchens too. And there's so many little kitchen clutter items, especially if you have a few packs and things. And with cool kitchen stuff just on its own has so many little kitchen clutter items that I'm obsessed with. But just in general, even with cats and dogs and parenthood, there's a lot of clutter items that are good for the kitchen. And putting those little shelves just lets you use all of them because you only have so much counter space. And if you're like me, you probably just want to put paper towels and your little spoons, cooking utensils on the counter, and that's about it. But it lets you mix it up when you put in these little shelves. I don't know. I'm talking about the build, so am I talking about the build so much though? I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm tricking myself into thinking that I'm talking about the build, if that makes sense. Because I just rambled about my Upgrowth challenge family for like a million years, and I'm like, oh wow, look at me talking about the build, so good. But no, I'm not. I think that, no, I didn't skip the part where I put the Christmas tree in. I almost did. I almost cut it out because this was getting too long. But like I said, cut out the bathrooms. But, the cats and dogs curtains, really good for this house. It worked out very well. And something else that is allowed this generation is having the gramophone type of radio thing. So we have two of those. We have one in the kitchen, one in the living room, because one of my favorite ways to make my Sims not miserable is have them listen to music while they're either cooking in the kitchen or eating or whatnot. They can just listen to music and gain a little bit of fun while they're suffering. I mean, I guess they don't have to be suffering in the kitchen, but usually if my Sims are like hungry and stuff, and I feel like especially with this challenge, I've been doing a bad job of making sure my Sims have fun, especially since I have a lot of teenagers right now, so they all go to school and they're miserable, and they come home and they're like not having fun, so I just have them listen to music while they eat their little afternoon snack, and then they're great. That's just a great pro tip for you. Not a pro tip, I'm not a pro. This is literally my hobby. I like how this living room turned out though. I love how I comment on things before they happen. Like when we were talking about the outside of the house, I talked about the entire layout of the house, and now I'm like, oh, I love how this living room turned out, and the living room is literally empty right now. A plus voiceover, Emily, good job. Oh, but I think Yeah, this is the next video after. I made a video of my making my sim self, and this is my next video after that, but that was kind of like a thanks for 100 subscribers. So if you're subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's really cool to see the channel get to 100. I know it's not like that many to most people, but to me it's really cool because back when I first started this channel, I thought like, oh, you know, you just upload some videos, people find them, you get subscribers, it's not that hard. Or not that it's not hard, but it's more like, oh, you upload stuff and you get subscribers, like that's how it works. But it's really not. You have to like actually either get lucky and have one video that just like blows up or something, or you upload consistently and then people start to find you, because the more stuff that you upload and the more consistent you are, the more YouTube sees that you're a legitimate channel and suggests your videos. From what I've gathered, that's kind of how it works. And I've noticed that since I started posting every day the past month or so, my channel is like doubled in size, like more than doubled. So now we finally are at 100, and that's really cool because I started this channel like back in March, but I was making these videos before I had a PC, so I was just playing Sims on my Mac, and playing Sims on a Mac is fine, but the quality is not the best, and that was not good for making videos. I mean, you can make videos at whatever quality you want, but it's much harder. And like now watching them, basically I could only make speed builds, because if you try to make anything else, it's so laggy that it just doesn't work. Like I tried to make a plant sim let's play, that's all privated now, so don't bother trying to find it because you can't. But I tried to make a plant sim let's play whenever the plant sim challenge thing came out, and that did not work. That was, well, I mean, I did it, but now I watched it back. I haven't watched it back recently. I'm kind of scared, but I did watch it back at some point over the summer, and I was like, this is awful. Like, you can't, this is unwatchable. I'm surprised that I didn't get a million thumbs down, but I think that at that point my channel had like 10 videos on it, so no one was finding them anyway. So it's fine. But anyway, moral of the story, thanks for 100. I'm excited. It's really cool to start from nothing and then put in the work for it, because originally, oh my god, my throat, do you hear that? I need to cough. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my voice, but my voice just decided that it didn't want to work anymore. But now it's fine, it's back, we're good. But yeah, it's really cool to start from nothing, and then, well, it's not cool to think that it's not going anywhere, but it's cool to actually try, because I feel like when I first started my channel, I was just kind of doing random stuff, and that's just part of it. Is if you ever want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you just recently have, you just start. I mean, I'm not really in a position to be giving advice. Why am I talking like I know what I'm talking about? I really hardly know anything, but all I know is that you make more videos, you get better at them, and I mean, I'm probably not that much better than I was when I started, but I know that I have to be a little bit better, and you get better at talking to yourself in a room, and you get better at building and doing whatever it is that you're doing, and people start to find you, and then you get 100 subscribers, and you're really happy about it, and you feel kind of silly because most people would probably say that that's hardly anything, like, nah, but I think that it's pretty cool. So yeah, thanks again. That's really all I had to say about that. But that moral of the story, thank you. That's all I have to say. I need to stop saying that. But yeah, now in that beautiful living room that I talked about a million years ago. I never say a million years ago, like that's not a phrase that I've used, but I've used it twice now. I don't know why, but it is something that's happened in this video. And like I said, cats and dogs curtains came in handy this time around. Very handy. I made basically two, not master bedrooms, but this bedroom is for Lawrence. He's the next generation heir. I guess I can talk about the family more now that I'm getting into their bedrooms. So this kind of makes sense. Good planning, Emily. Way to plan this video. I had notes. I mean, not that the notes were for the video, they were just for building the house, but I had some notes that I read earlier. Wow, so organized. And yeah, this room's for Lawrence. He's my Gen 2 heir, basically, and we'll be playing with his family mostly, which is kind of why I want to move the rest of the family out of the house once he gets married, so that we can really focus on just his family, like his core family, not so much his sisters and brothers and mom and stuff. Not that we won't visit them, but I just feel like they need to get moved out. And I think I've sold myself on this idea of moving them out. I think it's going to happen. But I did some fun little picture things in here. I think this picture wall is still in his room, but I went around once I moved the family and deleted some of the other pictures I put around the house because his mom, Nina, is basically a painter, and she's obviously not in the painter. Well, I say obviously, but if you haven't, like, if you don't know anything about the Upgrowth challenge, I guess it's not very obvious. But women can't have careers for the first generation, and so she's not in the painter career, but she paints a lot. She's pretty good at painting, and we have lots of her paintings around the house. Since she's not in the painter career, we can't sell any of her paintings, so they're just kind of hanging out in our house. And yeah, they've been nice to decorate with, especially in the first generation when our house was kind of ugly. I don't want to say ugly, but I feel like it was ugly. This house, I wanted to make sure that it all looked nice and that we wouldn't have to do as much renovating as we did in the first generation. First generation, I made a really small house. We did struggle for money, but that's not really my plan with this generation. Maybe another one will go back to struggling for money, but for now I just want to kind of enjoy a nice decorated house that fits the era. And probably when we get more to modern times, I'll have a sim move out or something, and then we can do more actual gameplay, realistic, single sim moving out on their own type of thing. But this generation, yeah, I really just wanted a nice house. And this house isn't crazy big or anything, but it's well decorated, it's comfortable. I think that they'll be happy here. And yeah, I think I deleted that whole picture wall and replaced it with pictures that or paintings, I guess, that Nina had done for the family. And so the family as it is right now, or I guess before the Let's Play episode that will come out tomorrow, I'll just go with that. Nina's pregnant, so I put in a little nursery in here for her future child, and then the bedroom next to it is for Lawrence's twin sister and his younger brother. We've got Caden, who's the brother, and then Violet, who is his twin sister. And that's their room in there, next to this one. Not this one, this is for a baby. But I'm surprised I didn't put a changing table in here. Actually, no, I'm not. This room was way too small for that. But I've been really getting into putting changing tables in my nursery slash toddler rooms. I think that it's a fun thing to do, and it adds a little bit of fun to the room. But this room is way too small for that. And yeah, we just got some decorations in here. I actually like that room a lot. I like the color scheme. Those curtains kind of inspired the whole thing. Or maybe those curtains didn't inspire the whole thing. See, this is what happens when I don't talk about what's actually going on the screen and I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about. I end up sounding dumb because I say, oh yes, this inspired this, but you just watched me do that like after I did everything else. I feel like that's probably what happened, but we're just going to ignore that. Moving on. This room is pretty cute, and yeah, I think this house is definitely a good size for a fam because I think that Lawrence has the oh gosh, what's his aspiration? I want to say it's like big happy family. It might not be, but I think that it is, which means he has to have at least 3 kids, and this house is a good size for that in my opinion, especially once we move Nina out. I'm talking about this like it's going to happen because I basically decided that it is, but yeah, still, you can still feel free to give me your feedback, but I think it's happening. And so we move her out. I wasn't planning on this when I built this house because obviously I built this like almost a month ago, a few weeks ago. Oh my god, we're into the screenshots. What the heck? I was not ready for that. Oh yeah, I forgot that I cut out all the landscaping because this video would have been way too long. But now we're at the end and I'm not even done talking. But what was I really saying anyway? Nothing important. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already for more quality voiceovers like this one. But I hope you're having a great day, and that's all I've got. Bye!